previous episode, I got to play the game Marvel Snap, and I kind of surprised that on the guys. And it sounds as though Phoenix has kind of gotten ensnared in my trap.
Slowly ruining my life. Like every chance I get, I'm like, oh, I can sneak a quick game in here. So, yeah, that's a problem now.
For your traps, nope.
I don't know what, like, when you first mentioned it, I was like, I'm not going to bother. And I think Kyle had, or Blitzkrieg had mentioned that he was starting to play it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fine, I'll give it a shot. And then sure enough, sucked into it. And I usually don't get caught in a card game, so I don't know what the issue is here. But, yeah, it's a problem.
Well, like I said, it hit me perfectly coming off of Vampire Survivors, where, like, I'm not normally huge into mobile games, but if one hits me right, you know, hits me right in the feel, sometimes I can get ensnared. And I don't know, like, I'm not mobile games, but I'm very much into card games, so I'm not surprised I got hooked. It sounds like you're the one that's less card games, because I have my Yu-Gi-Oh background.
Yeah, I mean, I played a little bit of Yu-Gi back in the day, and a little bit of a, Pokemon TCG. I think what probably helped kind of suck me into this, like, I was playing through, Persona 4 just a little bit, and I think that had kind of hit me in a weird spot. I think I was a little disappointed that it was so similar to 5, and then it started to feel a little daunting too, because those games run for like half your lifetime. So then when I tried Snap, and it's like, oh, it's like 2 minutes to play a match. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of nice. Of course, I've spent more time playing that than I have Persona probably combined right now. So, oh well.
Well, I told you that's what I love coming off of Vampire Survivors, is that the session time is like so much shorter, whereas Vampire Survivors, half hour is about as long as you go there, but I don't know.
What rank are you at right now? Just out of curiosity.
Rank. I think I've lost quite a bit. I was at 32 or 33. I think I'm at like 27 right now. I've been in a bit of a down slope as of late.
What's been like your go-to deck archetype, or are you just kind of still working with that kind of hodgepodge deck you started with?
A little bit. I mean, I have been mixing in some of the other cards, like Hobgoblin. I mixed in the Dino one.
Devil Dinosaur, yeah.
Scarlet Witch has become kind of a nice one to have. I haven't really been utilized. I know everyone's using, White Witch, Apocalypse, doing that with Enchantress, all that good stuff. I mean, I did land Sunspot. I have been trying to figure out how to utilize him in the proper way.
He's really good. So what I've been doing, my go-to deck has been a Devil Dino run for the most part. So if everything goes well, it's you boost up your deck as much as you possibly can, and then drop Dino at the end, and you can pretty much take any lane you want. But as my backup for that, in case like the right cards don't show up, I've got Sunspot and Infinite. So what you do is you drop Sunspot early, and then if you realize things aren't going to play out well for the Devil Dino, the way Infinite works, have you seen Infinite yet?
I probably have. It's not ringing a bell, though.
So, I mean, he's a 6-cost card, but he has 20 power. So he's pretty beefy. Just drop him on the board. The catch is, you can't play him if you played something the previous turn. It's like, if I play something on 5, I can't drop him on 6. But the catch is, if you got Sunspot sitting somewhere, you just skip turn 5. And Sunspot automatically gets an extra 5 points. It's almost as good as playing a decent card. And then you drop Infinites. Like if you realize that you're the main route for Devil Dino is not going to work well, just leave Sunspot out there, skip a few turns, let him build up, and then drop Infinite on a different lane, and you can just about take it just with those 2 cards.
And I have added like Agent 13 is one of my ones, so like trying to get a card that I need or something. I like playing her early.
I've started using Cable a lot. Kind of for that same...
I've seen a lot of people using Cable and the Wolverine. The nice thing freaking
like, do you know how Cable's different than some of the other draw cards?
Not really.
He pulls from your opponent's deck. He takes one of their cards away. So a lot of times I'll steal, like say you were running, I don't know, a Hulk deck or whatever. I could steal your Hulk and you'd have no idea. I think that actually happened to us when we were playing our little mini tourney. I stole Hulk from you on like round 2 and you had no idea. So then I knew that wasn't coming to bite me in the butt later on, then I could use it. So Cable's pretty handy if you can get him early on.
Interesting. So what about game, or are you still disinterested? Our excitement hasn't...
I do like card games. I haven't played a card game since Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty much. I used to have like the big old decks and stuff. It's been a long time actually.
I will say you don't have to be a Marvel fan. Like I think some people have been turned off because it's Marvel and they're like, oh, I'm tired of Marvel. That's just just the theming of it. Even if you don't care about Marvel, I think you'll still have fun with this game because it uses a lot of off the wall like unknown characters I'd never even heard of. I knew nothing about like Blue Marvel and stuff like that, and they end up being like main rotations in your game after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a shot, man. I can get memory on my phone.
You can also play on your PC. They do have it on Steam.
We played it on Steam too as well. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know how much you had to say. I just added this because I figured you would want to at least put out your 2 cents as to how you were digging it. Because it was just me last time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I know you had some critiques recently. I'm curious, like, are you still, like, not happy with the retreat mechanic, or were you kind of landing on that?
I've kind of come around a little bit on it because I'm starting to kind of see the intricacies of, like, the retreat mechanic is very heavily... I think it's good to have simply because of the cube mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those kind of offset each other, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you can either go big or you can back out, you know, and depending on how confident you are, I get it, is all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. I know at first you're like, man, I hate it. And it's probably because I think you were still at that time when you were, like, still winning the majority of matches. Like,
very much
those first, like, 10 to 20 levels, like, if you're getting the gist of the game, you can kind of steamroll those. So I'm sure if you were getting retreats on those, that was probably a little frustrating, but... Man, I am so glad that's a mechanic now that I'm like in the upper levels, because if I had to be forced to go all in like every single time, I'd never progress. I'd probably be like dropping 10 levels every day. So,
and also, like, I do very much think that, like you were saying, me being more often than not winning was causing me not to go through the cards in my deck and not alter certain strategies, and definitely wanting to avoid losing now all of a sudden is making me like, all right, I gotta
reevaluate cards.
Yeah, a little bit. The one thing I will say though is every game has its metas and everything. You very much are at the point I'm at. You very much see what is the meta, what is the stuff everyone has, and the cards we mentioned is like the stuff everybody is basically using. Like sometimes I see somebody mix it up, but
there's 3 main archetypes I think I see. The Devil Dino one, I think, is one of the biggest ones. Have you seen the Zoo deck, where it's basically they throw a whole bunch of 1-point cards out there, and at the end they drop, was it Khazar and Blue Marvel, and it doubles everybody up?
Really? I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, that was the one who got me from like level like 20 up to like 50. You throw as many 1-cost cards as you can across the board, and then you drop Khazar, which gives all 1-point cards 1 extra power. You drop Blue Marvel, which gives everybody 1 power, and if you can pair it up with Onslaught, it doubles both of them. So like every 1-cost card you have ends up being like 5 or 6 power by the time it's done. So it just kind of sneaks up on you. So that's a big one. And the other one is like the discard Apocalypse deck, which is personally my favorite. But when you get to like pool 2, it loses a little bit of power unless you have very particular cards like Mobius and Swarm. So I'm still waiting on a couple of those. But I'm enjoying it. I don't know if I'll stop enjoying it at a certain point. Like, I'm getting towards the end of pool 2, and after that I know it's a real like trudge to kind of get through the pool 3 cards, because like they start happening kind of randomly, and then like you have to go a long time before you get them. I don't think they're guarantees at a certain point too. You just got to keep on playing.
I did notice once you get into the 500s too, there's like you stop winning individual cards and you start winning, what is it, like a pile, or it's like
they're like little chests which can have new cards in it. Like that's where it gets a little weird. Like I may not fully understand it yet. There's 3 main pools of cards, which I think are mostly guarantees. And then after you get through those pool 3s, they have like Series 4 and Series 5 cards, which don't count as part of the pool, and they're just random. So then those extra cards you get in those unlockable chests if you just keep on playing, potentially. But you also get like money and like cosmetics and variants and stuff like that. So it starts taking a long time to get the cards you want. But I'm not that far yet, so for right now I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm enjoying it. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm gonna move on anytime soon because I don't have another mobile game to play around with. It's so I don't know.
Well, the nice thing is it's got a lot of strategy to it. It keeps evolving the decks on you, so it's not like you get too stagnant for too long. So it's definitely got some legs to it. I'm sure there's a point where you get all the cards, and the majority of them, and then you start feeling a little tapped out. But yeah, I think it's going to be in my regular repertoire for a while, at least my rotation.
I would also like to see. I mean, I think we talked about it, and you mentioned it that they have been doing it. Is I mean, obviously supporting the game long term, and I would like to see a deck drop or something at some point. I would actually like to see that. Maybe
They just did.
You did?
They
What?
just updated like 2 days ago, and you got a couple of new cards. They moved some cards down to different tiers so they're more accessible. Like they're updating it all the time.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know what cards they were.
Like I don't think they're dropping like like a whole deck's worth of cards, but like I don't know if it's monthly or however long they do it, but they just dropped. It's all Ant-Man themed right now, so it's Stature, which is basically Ant-Man's daughter, one of her personas. So they just dropped her card. They just updated a bunch of cards, different behaviors. Cards that used to be really exclusive, they now moved into the lower pool, so they're more accessible. So they're doing stuff with the game. It seems pretty consistently. Have you spent any money on the game yet?
Nope. I've been tempted. Have not spent any money on it.
I bought the season pass.
Ooh, how much is
the
that?
only reason, it's 10. It wasn't anything major. And the only reason I did it was the card, which at first I wasn't going to get, but MODOK is like the big selling card there. He's really good in the Apocalypse deck, which is like my favorite one to play. So I'm like, I'm playing it enough. It was worth it. So I grabbed that.
Interesting.
Plus, I'm a shill. So
I was going to say, how dare you?
Yeah, I'm part of the problem, Chaz. What can I say?
Indeed. I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, there's not really a heck of a whole lot. I mean, maybe we can come back and talk about this game if there's anything, I don't know, new later on. But
I think, I don't know if there'll be any major things. What I think I'd like to see, we kind of started it. We should do more little streaming tourneys or whatnot. Like, if we can get Metal and Blitz on board, great, but I thought it was cool just popping on, just battling you for a little bit, and you got some audience engagement, which I thought was pretty cool. I know you didn't see it, Metal, but some random dude popped into the chat and actually got into his game, and they were fighting together. So it was pretty neat. So
pretty fun.
That's pretty awesome.
maybe that's your niche. You got to be a snap streamer. I'm telling you, it's hot right now.
We'll see.
Start dressing up like different superheroes every time. That can be your shtick, and then you have to build a deck around whatever character you dress up as. I'll tell you, that's how you get popular. It doesn't have to be a good idea. It just has to be an idea. You just got to go all in with it. So, Chaz, that's it. That's going to be a $1 million idea. Save me $5.
I'll do that then.
All right.